Hey everyone, welcome to the RotoGrinders Morning Grind Podcast. I'm your host, Stevietpfl. It's Thursday, it is February 6th, it's 2020. We have 5 basketball games to talk about here on today's slate. I'm joined by my good buddy, Blender, Jordan Cooper. How are you doing, my friend?
Good. The trade deadline is over. We're not going to have a slate where we have to worry about people not appearing on the bench, right? I mean, it's over at this point.
Yeah, we'll see. They have all those it's like baseball. They have those waiver moves, and I don't know, but I don't think we see anything crazy anymore.
Well, that's good because this past slate was just you weren't by your computer or even after lock, switching guys up and who's going to be on the Miami bench and who's not going to be on the team anymore. The Golden State guys are sitting out, so it prepares you for the last month of NBA season when that happens every single day. But I'm looking forward to the All-Star break.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the All-Star break too, just because NASCAR starts. So, it kicks off this weekend, and there's 5 races next week. So, I'm ready for the All-Star break just because we're going to be doing a lot of NASCAR stuff here at RotoGrinders. So, I wasn't going to even get into that, but we did announce today that if you are playing NASCAR this weekend for the Clash, the Busch Clash, make sure you're checking out. We have a $9.99 weekly package, and we have the early bird special for $2.99. It's going to go up to $3.50 after the Daytona 500. So take advantage of it now. Let's jump into this one. We got 5 games, 7:30 start here today, which I like these 7:30 starts. I usually like these 5, 6, 7, 8 game slates too, but this one is really going to be kind of news driven a little bit. Orlando at New York, no total in this game. It's a back-to-back for Orlando. I would assume DJ Augustine still going to be out. He is not expected back until after the All-Star break. Jonathan Isaac, he's still going to be out. Birch is dealing with a little bit of an injury as well, but he's expected, to play. So we'll have to kind of see how that plays out. But it is a back-to-back, so we'll have to kind of watch that. And on the Knicks side of things, RJ Barrett is upgraded to questionable. Dotson is questionable. And Trier is doubtful. Let's start here with the Orlando Magic. Anything stand out to you for the Magic?
I think you could play any of these guys for a ceiling in GPP. But, Booch at 8,200 on DraftKings, I think is efficiently priced. I'd like to play guys against the Knicks. Fournier, 5,600. He's going to be a bit shooting dependent, but nothing dramatically stands out to me. Gordon could always put up a ceiling game, but there's nothing really here that that's really enticing to me that I have to have in my lineup.
Yeah, I don't have to have Aaron Gordon, but he has been playing really well recently. I watched a lot of the Magic game against Boston, being a Magic fan. I think Aaron Gordon has some upside. Fournier always has a ceiling. I just hate shooters on back-to-backs. I talk about this all the time. But yeah, nothing really popping. Gotta have, for the Orlando Magic for me. I will say that Michael Carter-Williams has been getting really strong second unit minutes off the bench here with DJ Augustine out and him playing, so just going to have to kind of watch this one. I wish he was a little bit cheaper. If he was 3,400 on this 5-game slate, I think you could make an argument for him. He's still cheap enough that if you're playing large field tournaments, he's a guy that I would potentially have in my player pool, depending on how some of these injuries fall throughout the industry. Let's talk the Knicks side of things here. Obviously a lot on the Knicks side is going to be determined on RJ Barrett if he plays or not.
Yeah, but it also matters on whether or not he's going to be on a minutes limit of some type. Because at 5,000, I don't mind playing him if he's going to play 30 minutes. But if not, then not all that appealing. Payton's priced up at 7,300 on DraftKings. Marcus Morris, who apparently what people were asking about around the league, and I don't know why, 6,400. The Magic are not a good matchup. They're a slow team that play well defensively. So Mitchell Robinson at 4,600. You could always get 5 blocks and 3 steals or something. And Randall has a ceiling, obviously, at 8,300. But do I want to pay this price against the Magic? So Well, I could target some of these players. This is one of the games where everyone's priced pretty efficiently, and anyone can have a lucky game, but nothing that I'm targeting. I think most of my lineups are when 7:30 lock hits, I'm gonna have an empty lineup.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I think, like I said, if Barrett sits, I think you can make an argument for Elf, but the price is just so high. It's just more of, do you want to play like the revenge narrative type of game on a 5-game slate? I probably don't, but I could see why people would. And his usage has been really high here recently. Like, triple-double last time out against Cleveland. Obviously much different matchup, Cleveland and Orlando. But like I wouldn't hate, like if I'm playing large field tournaments, I wouldn't hate like taking a shot on him. Outside of that, I got nothing else here.
Well, I also think that this is one of these slates that unless there's like, significant news, that there may not be screaming value. It may be one of these slates where Michael Carter Williams ends up being 32% owned or something. I mean, it's one of these 4K type guys. And I think it makes for great for GPPs because, the value is going to be suspect. It's going to condense in certain places based on industry talk and projection models that if everyone is more or less efficiently priced on 5-game slate, it's a perfect time to just go contrarian because if the prices are not going to be that dramatically different point per dollar wise, you might as well just play the lower owned guy.
Take a shot. All right, we got New Orleans at Chicago, 231.5 total here. Pelicans favored by 3.5 in this game. Darius Miller still out. Kendrick Williams out. Zion Williamson is questionable. And on the Chicago side, Wendell Carter Jr. is out. Chris Dunn is out. Gafford is doubtful. Markkanen is out. Porter is out. And Valentine is doubtful.
It's the Bulls injury report. They just put everyone on it every day.
Every day, but today there's a lot of question marks, a lot of doubtful guys. So let's start here with New Orleans. It sounds like Zion is going to play, but I don't think that like if this toe thing like is bothering him at all, they're not gonna push him, right?
Well, I mean, it's a great matchup against the Bulls. I mean, I'd want to play him 7,700 if they're going to play him 30 plus minutes. I mean, we've seen with the favors. Like, traditionally, it'd be like, yeah, the center against the Bulls, 5,000, give it to me. But he's only been playing like 24 minutes. They've been playing Zion at the 5 a lot. And it's not like they have to go big against the Bulls. So, like, I would want to target the front court. So maybe it's someone like Brandon Ingram. You play him for a ceiling. I think you can play any of these guys for a ceiling. But like I've said before, I think they're fairly efficiently priced. And feel free to choose which one it's going to be because I don't think you can play two of them together. Between Zion, Ingram, Holiday, Ball, I mean, any of them could put up 50 points. So I think in GPP it's the type of thing where I'm grouping out and only playing one of these guys. But whichever one you choose, I mean, good luck guessing which one it is.
Yeah, I agree with that. Just trying to figure out which one is the guy you want. For me, like, Josh Hart has been a guy that's been playing really well recently, and he's doing it without scoring. He's kind of filling up the stat sheet here recently, off the bench too. And me, I'm team bench. I love bench guys that get the job done. So Josh Hart is a guy, depending on how a lot of the value just goes today. I think Josh Hart is obviously a guy that we're going to be looking at. Lonzo Ball, it's not the greatest matchup, but I do think that, with all these injuries, Chicago is going to be rolling out these guys a little bit extra minutes. So I don't hate Lonzo here, but yeah, like I don't really love the Pelicans in this game outside of these big three. And like you said, I probably won't be playing them too much together.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to say this about every game. I mean,
yeah, that's not my favorite slate.
Right. I mean, it's a 5-game slate. You're going to have to play someone. I'm actually more interested in the Chicago side of this game than anything else.
Yeah, well, I think Chicago is going to be the team that we're going to get a ton of value from. So let's go over to the Chicago side with all these guys out and some of these guys doubtful. We're just playing bodies here. Chicago's not going to have a ton of guys like Zach LaVine in this game. If this game stays close, he's going to play like 40 minutes. He has a tremendous ceiling here. Thaddeus Young, he's going to play a ton of minutes in this game just because they need bodies. Santorinsky, these guys like, Kobe White might be the best value play on the slate because he's going to have to play 25 to 30 minutes against New Orleans at 3,800.
Right. I mean, the main thing is here with Dunn out, that's 28 to 30 minutes out of the rotation. And it's going to go to guys like White. It's going to go to guys like Chandler Hutchinson, 4,300 on DraftKings. I mean, he's listed as questionable, but I think he's probable.
He's supposed to play, yeah.
Right. Satoransky may get a couple extra minutes. So, I mean, it's not like I like playing Bulls, but on the context of this slate, I mean, what are the 4K level guys are you really going to be playing? And it's a pace-up spot against the Pelicans. So, I think people are going to reach for the cheaper guys, but that may even make Zach LaVine even better of a GPP play on a 5-game slate because if even more of the responsibility on the offense is going to go to him, people are not going to play. I mean, if you're playing Satoransky or Hutchinson or White or something, you're probably not playing LaVine with them. So it's more likely that LaVine goes lower owned with everyone kind of maybe gravitating to the suspect Bulls value that will be chalky, at least as of right now. Yeah, news comes around and you never know. Everything gets thrown in the air. But right now, I think projection models are going to bump up some of these cheaper Bulls guys.
I have a hard time. I'm on salary tags on premium today, and I know I can already tell you that there's a good chance I'm going to be tagging, multiple Bulls on this slate, for value. So obviously, like you said, things can change. But I think we're going to be playing 2 to 3 Chicago Bulls today, and that never sounds fun, but it is.
No, it doesn't. Maybe I take off.
But a guy like Archie who's 3,100 that nobody's probably going to play here. He's another guy you could throw into the mix that could play 10 extra minutes.
Will they give Shaq Harrison some time? He hasn't played in a couple. He played 4 minutes the last game. Maybe it's Shaq Harrison day.
Yeah, I think it's Archie day, but I could be wrong. But
I think it's the Bulls. We all could be wrong.
Yeah, I think it's anybody that's a body that can play. You can play today. You're in. How many minutes can you play? All right, moving on. We got Philly at Milwaukee. 227 total here. Milwaukee favored by 9. Josh Richardson is still out. Embiid is supposed to play, in this game. So, and then on the Milwaukee side, everybody's good to go. Let's start here with Philly. What do we like here for the 76ers?
I think this game is going to be very, real-life basketball. You'd want to watch it. But, I mean, obviously Milwaukee plays at a fast pace, but they're also the number 1 defensive team in the league. Philadelphia is another defensive team. I mean, it's just a matter of, taking a shot on any of these guys. You could take a shot on Embiid, Simmons, Harris, Horford, Shake Milton even. I mean, I think, if you just were to analyze just the basketball element of it, I'd be more inclined to take outside shooters against the Bucks. So guys like Harris, definitely not Simmons. But I think Harris, maybe, or Milton, Tybalt, Korkmans, maybe off the bench or something. Something like that, because
you hear the hesitation in your voice.
Yeah, well, I mean, but we need value on this slate. I have no idea. It's just that Milwaukee doesn't really give. I mean, they don't give up much points in the paint, and they don't give up many rebounds. So, how much of a ceiling do guys like Embiid, Simmons, Horford have? I think I'm more inclined to just go for the outside shooters. It's not like I even want to play these guys against Milwaukee at these prices. But I mean, Toby Harris, 6,600. I mean, we've seen him put up 50 points, so that ain't bad for that price.
I think the guy I end up playing here is Embiid. When you're looking overall on the slate, like, you have Whiteside, you have Vooch, you have Zion, like you have some center plays, but I think Embiid is a guy that, I have a hard time not playing Embiid in this spot. But it's just more of he's 9,100 going against Milwaukee, and Milwaukee has always kind of struggled against big men with Brook Lopez as their center. So, like, I think that Embiid has a really high ceiling in this game. Put up 55 fantasy points in the first meeting against this team earlier this season. So I don't mind Embiid, and I don't think I'd play Ben Simmons and Embiid together. I think they just kind of limit each other's ceilings, but I wouldn't mind having a group where if I'm rolling out 150 teams that I play 0 to 1 of those guys.
No, I agree with you. I mean, I'd be interested in playing one of these Sixers, but probably not two together.
Milwaukee side of things, Giannis is always a guy that's in play. You're going to have to decide, like, do you think he's going to play over 30 minutes? If you think this game's going to stay close, which game should stay remotely close. But we haven't talked about it. We have, Lillard, we have Harden potentially with no Westbrook. We have LeBron, we have Anthony Davis. Like, we have a ton of studs on the slate. That's why it's interesting to see how this value is going to open up.
Right. And I mean, Philadelphia, the way that they built their team was to beat the Bucks. So looking at this, I think a good GPP swerve would be, instead of playing Giannis, you play like Middleton or Bledsoe or Wes Matthews or Dante DiVincenzo, one of the cheaper guys. Because the impossibility of the slate is that the biggest news that we need to get is for the 10:30 game. Right? I think maybe we'll know by 5:30 Eastern if Westbrook is going to sit or not. But Westbrook doesn't sit. It's not like you can't play Harden anyway. But I think I'd like to leave myself optionality. The most appealing games on the slate. We'll get to the next game, San Antonio Portland. I almost think that may be the premier game on the slate from a fantasy perspective. So, like, do I want to take the slots up with the Bucks 76ers? It's probably not a game that I'll stack, but I could see playing one of these guys. But could I tell you which one it is? No, because they're pretty much all efficiently priced.
Yeah. I don't know if I end up playing Giannis. Middleton's a guy that, like, if he gets hot, he can have big games. He's been shooting the ball really well here recently. He's gone over 40 fantasy points in 5 of the last 6 games. Raw points are going to matter on a 5-game slate. You don't have to have like 8x, 9x, stuff like that. So I think a guy like Middleton's definitely in play. George Hill's supposed to be back. I just don't think that, like, he's a guy that I would end up playing over some of these other guys that we talked about. So I don't mind Giannis. I like Middleton. I don't mind Bledsoe. And then I don't mind the DiVincenzo call. But it's just his minutes are all over the place. But he's a guy that could get there in this spot. So, all right, moving on. We got San Antonio at Portland. 231 total here. Portland favored by 3 in this game. Really, Nurkic, Hood, Labassiere, Collins are out as always, and Little is out as well for Portland. Let's start here with San Antonio. What are we looking at here for the Spurs?
Is Lamarcus Aldridge dust? Is he dust?
Oh, that was so brutal the other night.
Yeah, he was 6,200, and he still put up like 14 fantasy points. What's up with that? But Portland, like, is horrible defensively. So, like, I don't mind playing any of these. I can play DeRozan for a ceiling at 7,900. Aldridge at 6,500. You take a shot with Dejounte Murray and hope he plays the minutes at 5,100. You can even take a shot with guys like White and Forbes and Mills. You don't put them all in the same lineup, right? Lonnie Walker, I don't know. Do something like that. But, I think the Spurs are priced down for a total that's 230 plus. And I could definitely see one or two of these guys hitting a 7x score in this matchup.
Yeah, I'm going right back to the well on Lamarcus Aldridge. He burned me so bad the other night, but He looked gas. I don't know if you watched the game, but he looked gas in that game. This is one of those situations where, you have to worry about it being a 3-on-4. And like, obviously that's something that is concerning, but, for me, I'm 6,500 against Portland. I have a hard time not playing Lamarcus Aldridge against Carmelo Anthony. Unless man, I really hope they start Podol with LaMarcus here and let Podol kind of play against Whiteside and let LaMarcus play against Melo. That'd be fantastic.
If that happens, is Pirtle in play at 3,700?
I would think he's in play, but
or Trey Lyles, but you wouldn't even know what the news is until you're not going to get the starting lineup for
they could use
2.5 hours
too.
after lock.
Yep. I don't know. Outside of that, though, I agree with you on DeRozan. I think he's very much in play here. DeJounte Murray's minutes are kind of all over the place still. He's just not a guy that I'm going to play on a slate like this. I'd rather take a shot on a Forbes or a Mills or somebody. Probably wouldn't play those guys together, but just taking a random shot on one of those guys instead of a guy that's kind of capped at 25 minutes and a little bit more expensive. So, on the Portland side of things, Lillard, I played him a ton the other night against Denver, took 23 shots, had a terrible shooting night. That whole game, Portland just played terrible that whole game. I don't mind going right back to the well on Damian Lillard after he kind of burned people the other night.
Okay, I'll have 0 of them.
That's fine.
10,000, get out of here. We have a large enough sample size to know that he's not a 10K player. I have no problem playing C.J. McCollum at 6,700. I have no problem playing Melo at 5,700 because, hey, Lamarcus Aldridge and Carmelo, it's Aldridge is not a good defender anymore. So, it's still Melo has a good matchup also. I'd rather take a shot on a Reeser, Trent Jr. I'm not paying 10K for Lillard. He's an $8,400 player on DraftKings. That's about it. In a decent matchup, maybe 9,000, but yes, he's on a run, and the last game he didn't do it, but, I'm just hoping recency bias keeps people on him for 10K. I'll play Whiteside at 8,000. I have no problem with that. Hey, if it burns me, it burns me. On a slate with, no value, why am I paying a premium for Lillard? I'm not even entertaining the notion of playing.
Famous last words.
Hey, if he beats me, fine, but he'll beat me at 10K. Go, have fun. Try to get 65 points and beat me. Go for
it. He's gonna put up 75 now.
Okay, then I lose. So what's wrong with that? That's why we.
You might still not lose though at his price, depending on what happens.
Oh no, it's a 5-game slate. If he puts up 75, I'm not winning a GPP without Lillard in it.
I was trying to help you out, but you're probably right.
You don't have to help me out. I know I'm going to lose. If he starts shooting shots before the half-court line, and I see that 3 of them are going, I just close my laptop at that point. Okay, don't even wait. Don't even wait for the Rockets-Lakers game.
I like if you're not playing Lillard, I do like McCollum, Whiteside, and Melo. Again, I don't hate Trevor Ariza here. They got blown out the other night against Denver. They kind of blew out Utah the game before that, but Ariza's going to play minutes, especially with Little out here. So Trevor Ariza at 4,300, I think he's one of the safer value plays on this slate, and that's so weird to say, but another guy that if you're playing large field tournaments, you could take a shot on Swagman if with Little outs, assuming that all these other guys stay out for Portland. They don't have their injury report submitted the night before. This could be a spot that Swagman plays 20 minutes at 3,300, and he could easily average a fantasy point per minute in this matchup.
Sure, but if he's going to be chalky, this is the type of slate. If you find some of these guys that are going to come in at 20-25% ownership, just like with Dejounte Murray on the other side. With Murray's minutes all in flux, if he turns out to be chalky, play the other guys. But if he turns out to be not chalky, then play him. So that's how I'm viewing a lot of this suspect value, because there is none. We've already gone through 4 games. And outside of Kobe White, we're talking about Bulls off the bench as the best value plays. So feel free to not go with the herd and play whoever you want. Play Ariza instead. Play Trent Jr. Who knows? I mean, the range of outcomes between this level player is going to be so wide, you might as well not be on the chalk, especially in GPP.
All right, to finish this off here, we got Houston at LA taking on the Lakers. No total in this game, and a lot of that has to do with Russell Westbrook being questionable. Assuming that these guys that Houston traded for, and guys, I mean Covington, won't be available in this game.
They are going to be available.
They will be available?
I just saw a tweet. Verified, with deal done, Robert Covington and Jordan Bell expected to be with Rockets and available to play tomorrow, source said.
All right, but they're not even in the player pool, so
right,
it doesn't
can't even
matter.
play him. You could play Clint Capella and just hope you get the Hawks points from the next game.
Let's start here with Houston. If Westbrook doesn't play, it's 2 to 3 Houston players again.
Well, I mean, they priced them up on DraftKings, so I mean, they're not like slam dunks or anything like that. But remember, if Covington's going to play, he's going to take minutes away from guys like House, guys like, I mean, Tucker. They priced up to 6,200, but I mean, he is the de facto center now. He's going to be up against JaVale McGee, Anthony Davis, and Dwight Howard. Okay, I guess so. I guess if he could handle Gobert, he's fine. But I mean, if Westbrook's out, I'd be more interested in guys like Gordon or McLemore or Rivers, those types of players. But I mean, they priced them up a little bit also. And the Lakers have a good defense. I mean, they're one of the best defensive teams in the league. So to me, if Westbrook's in, I may not have a single Rocket player because, I mean, Covington is going to take up minutes. And if Westbrook's out, I may be Harden at 12-4 and maybe one of the cheaper guys. But, I mean, just like I've been saying the whole slate, I don't like anything on this. I don't like any play. There's no plays that I like, other than not playing Lillard. There's no plays that I'm comfortable with, which makes for great GPPs, but you're just not going to be confident in any lineup you make.
A lot of that could change throughout the day too. So make sure you're paying attention to Premium Discord because a lot of that can change. I think if Covington plays and Westbrook sits, I think McLemore is the guy that takes the hit. I don't think it's going to be Daniel House for what it's worth, but I could be wrong. Man, I have a tough time not still liking these guys if Westbrook doesn't play. But yeah,
and you play Daniel House at 6,000.
Easy. You click the little green button.
Oh, I don't want
to
do that.
Play whoever you want.
Yeah, I mean, you can. Sure. I mean, I know you can. But also realize you're going to have to build these lineups. You may not know if Westbrook's out. So if Westbrook's in, do you want to pay 6,000 per house if Westbrook is in?
Nope.
No. So you're going to be ending up switching over. What other players are you going to be going over and playing? Leaving money on and playing Kyle Kuzma or something, right?
Hopefully we get the Westbrook news early in the day.
Well, who says we are? I'm just going from the opinion that maybe we don't get it. So plan accordingly.
Yeah, I agree on that aspect. On the Lakers side of things, you could play LeBron, you could play Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis could have 25 rebounds in this game. Anyone over 6'6" could have 25 rebounds this game. Right? I mean, the Rockets. I mean, in the game that they played, the Elias Bureau said it was the shortest a team has played since 1963. Okay, to put things into perspective. So that's so crazy.
So why wouldn't I want to play? I mean, I could play Howard, I could play McGee, but I mean Davis under 10K. I'd rather play Davis at 9,700 than Dame at 10,000. So I prioritize Anthony Davis. I'd rather play LeBron James at 10-4. I think the matchup against the Rockets is better. So I mean, I don't even need a Houston guy. I mean, I could play both of them even on this slate. Well, maybe not, because if you put both of them in, that means you're going to be playing like the entire Bulls bench, and that's not going to go well for you. But I mean, you can if you want to take a shot on Rondo, Danny Green, KCP. I mean, you can. But I mean, typically with the Lakers, it's LeBron, it's AD, and then it's.
It's a good KCP spot, so who knows? On paper, anyway. All right, let's play the morning grind game, and then we're going to get out of here. Give me your favorite play under 5K to 7X.
Under 5 on this slate? Oh,
Yeah.
boy. Oh, look at these choices. Under 5K. Can I punt? Can I just say no one? I'm gonna go with Chandler Hutchinson.
What was the odds that both of us were going to take a Bulls guy? It had to have been pretty high, right? I'm going to go with Kobe White. Over 8K to go under 5X. Who's your bust today?
Lillard. That's easy.
Oh, man. Rest in peace, Blender's money today. I'm going to go with Ben Simmons. I could see Simmons getting there, but I also feel like he has a low probability or lowest of the group in this range today. Favorite 6X play. Who do you got?
I'm gonna bet on the minutes. Dejounte Murray.
Oh man, I really want to take Lillard here.
Really? You're gonna take that high price of a player for this question?
No, I was just saying, like, just to mess with you, I wanted to take Lillard. There's somebody that I really like today. Oh, Lamarcus Aldridge, LMA.
Yeah, your money may be bye-bye.
Yeah, well, it was the other night, that's for sure. Let's get weird GPP play of the day. Who do you got?
The weird one. What would be? I mean, weird on the slate would be someone that. What would be weird? Geez. How many minutes has Lonnie Walker been getting? Not all that many. Yeah, give me Lonnie Walker.
That's weird.
Is that weird enough?
Yeah, that's weird enough. I'm gonna go with Swagman.
Swanigan.
Swagman, man.
Swagman. Okay.
I know what his name is. I see it. His name's just better when it's Swagman.
There are guys at the bottom of this pool I've never heard of.
Those are the guys that are going to go off on this slate. If you haven't been paying attention,
who's Horton Tucker? Who's plays for the Lakers? Horton Tucker.
That's an interesting one. Game selection question. What's standing out to you? Cash games, tournaments, anything that's standing out to you today?
Well, if I'm not playing Lillard, probably I'm going to be in the bottom of GPPs, potentially. Let's see. What game selection question could I possibly give? I'm looking at my current slate. Okay, I'm doing pretty well. One suggestion. I always give a tip instead of like a selection. If you're going to play lower field, like smaller field GPPs, like that $40 single entry that I know Stevie likes a lot, which typically is around 1,200 entries. Instead of, if you're an MME player, for instance, if you're building a lot of lineups, this is what I typically do. That's why some people look at my $40 single entry lineup and go, wow, you got pretty weird. The reason why I tend to go weird in those single entry contests is because the ownership gets much more condensed. Most people will basically make a cash type lineup and then pivot like in one or two spots. Me, what I tend to do is that if I'm building, let's say, 75 lineups for today, which they could be in multiple content, I mean, some for the 20 max, some for the big $15 GPP. What I typically do is the entry that goes in to that $40 single entry or the $12 single entry is essentially my highest projected GPP lineup that I make in my build. And because I'm building all my lineups for leverage, with so it doesn't have a certain ownership, like it's going to be a chalkier lineup, but it's not going to be one of those, chalk and then some pivots. It may have a 4% owned guy. It may have 2 8% owned guys. And if you get one of them right and they go off, you could potentially win. You could win a 1,200 person tournament just with that, and everyone getting just value in general. So if you are a multi-entry player and you want to, unless you're hand building, I'm just saying what I tend to do, and maybe you should try it out a little bit more.
There you go. I typically, in the $40 single entry, will run an optimal lineup and switch one or two things. So
See, that's exactly. I'm
right.
taking advantage. I'm not saying that you're doing anything wrong,
Nope.
but so many people do that, so I'll take advantage.
There you go. I think this is an excellent slate to check out tiers. So when I was looking at the slate ahead of time, there is a $3 3-entry max tiers contest over there on DraftKings today. It pays out 22%. Top 10's getting 32%. Somebody is going to potentially turn $3 into $500, which doesn't sound like a ton, but if you're a small bankroll player, that's a nice little bump. Maybe you're not liking what you're seeing value-wise today. There's what I really like about the tiers contest today. That tier 6 is wide open and could really change on injury news. And I could see Thaddeus Young being like ultra chalk in that tier. So I think tier contests today are a ton of fun if you want to be different. So check out that $3 3-entry max tiers contest over there on DraftKings if you're not liking what you're seeing when you're building your salary cap lineups today. Because like even tier 1, you're deciding if you're playing Harden, Giannis, LeBron, or Lillard, and like that could be the difference maker in itself. So check them out. I do think this is a great slate to check it out. So what's your favorite over-under today or against the spread?
Over-under. Since I don't even check out what the spreads and totals are, let's see what type of weird player prop. Let's see. Who will have – let's make this interesting. Who will have more – okay. Who will have the least? Ben Simmons mid-range shots or PJ Tucker rebounds? Against the Lakers front court or Simmons against the Bucks?
I'll go Simmons.
Have less mid-range?
Yep.
You can't count layups. You can't count the layups and through the lane. Just mid-range. I mean, obviously, it's not three-pointers because he's not shooting.
I'll go Simmons.
Okay.
All right. I got sharp side open, and I've gotten my lock bet the last 2 days. We took Cleveland plus 11.5 yesterday. That total ended up getting the spread ended up getting to Cleveland plus 13.5. So if you waited, it didn't matter because either way it hit. Cleveland stayed close in that game. So I'm going to go with the over in the San Antonio-Portland game today at 231.5 or 231. It's currently at 231. So I'm going to take the over in that game as my lock bet today. Try to get it to 3 in a row here. And yeah, it's going to wrap us up. Blender, any final thoughts before we get out of here?
Nope. I'm always in the Discord. Premium members. If you, I know this is a free podcast, but if you sign up for RotoGrinders Premium, rotogrinders.com/premium, we're always talking strategy and then tilting our faces off for 4 or 5 hours when Andrew Wiggins can't make a shot.
Yeah, Discord is so hard to keep up with once the games start. I like Discord throughout the day. I'll use it throughout the day. Got the NASCAR chat set up today, so that's ready to go. But yeah, I like Discord until the games start. I can't.
Once the game start, it's like the Normandy invade. The people are dropping. People is the worst thing in the world, right? Is this guy dead? I mean, PJ Tucker the other night had like 0 points through 7 minutes, and people are signing over their wills and their coffins and everything. He comes back and he does fine. So I mean, but that's if you're used to that, I'm used to that. I'm used to everything's dead or everything's no cat Drummond, and then he ends with like 37 points, and then it's like, well, what happened to that? But it's fun, so join us.
All right, that's gonna wrap it up. I hope everyone has an awesome Thursday. We'll be back tomorrow talking some more hoops. Good luck in your contest, and we'll see you then.